again. Welcome everyone to the CVS and Rite contract campaign meeting. We'll begin in another minute. We now have almost at 100 participants on the call, which is great. I'm excited that we have a lot of folks because we need a lot of participation, which we'll talk about in a moment. All right, it looks like we still have people joining, but I think we're going to get started. I'm Kathy Finn, Secretary Treasurer of Local 770. On the panel here with me are Darren Verastiki, who is a union representative and assisting with the drug campaign, as well as Dina Weston and Armando Galvez, also union representatives assisting with the campaign, Danny Garcia, the field director, John Grant, the president, everyone knows him. We have Norma Leva joining us from the Food for Less campaign. So they're getting close to wrapping up their campaign. And so she's going to share her experience of participating in a high member participation campaign. And then we have Maya Barron, Shannon Sanchez, and Lisa Lee providing support. And I think that's everybody on the panel. Again, it's great to have so many folks joining the call. We have over 100 attendees now on the call, over 100, and it's still going up. We now have well over 100 CVS and Rite members on the call, which is awesome. As folks probably know, the CVS contract expires June 30th, which is about, what is that? It's April, May, June. So it's what, is that like 2 months away, 2.5 months away, and the Rite contract July 17th, which is 3 months away. So we've had meetings starting last summer about getting ready for this contract campaign, but now we're really in what we would call like the crunch time, where we really have to get organized in order to make sure we get a good contract. So, you know, I shouldn't even say you face many challenges in getting good contracts. Throughout COVID, as you all know better than anyone, having worked in the store, these companies that you work for have given no recognition to the sacrifice that you've made working during COVID. As you know better than anyone, they didn't follow protocols for safety. We had to numerous times go get various ordinances and things passed by the government because they would not respect the work that you did, and in fact, your health, your safety, and dealing with these greedy corporations. We know that it's become more difficult and more difficult over time to get good contracts. Even before COVID, dealing with these corporations had been getting more difficult and more difficult. So over the years, we've faced many contracts where the companies are always trying to take something away. And so many times, these campaigns that we've been involved with have been to save the medical or to save something that the companies are trying to take away. And we need to start to do things differently and go more on the offensive. Over the years, the increases that these contracts have not kept pace with the cost of living. And so we've done a lot of research to look into what kind of campaigns are successful, and all around the country, the campaigns that have been successful are those campaigns that have very high member participation. And that doesn't mean a few people out of every store. High member participation means huge majorities of people. being involved in campaigns. And that is crucial in order to get a good contract. And when we say high member participation, we don't mean just showing up for, one action or one event in front of your store. It's not like a lip service kind of participation. It's real, true participation, meaning members are part of the bargaining committee. They sit at the table, negotiate the contract with the employer. They lead the activities of the campaign and have conversations with their coworkers in the store to ensure that all the members understand what's going on and ensure that the campaign is completely responsive and created by the members for the members. And so this is the same kind of campaign that we just ran with Food for Less. And it's something, in some ways sort of new for Local 770. And we have Norma Leyva, who has got involved in November, in the Food for Less campaign. And she is going to describe her experience of being involved in member participatory campaign and how that's changed the kind of campaign and the kind of contract that they're going to get at Food for Less. But before I turn it over to Norma, I do want to say that everyone on this call can put questions and comments either in the question box or in the chat. Our discussions tonight are going to be primarily focused on this campaign. If we have time permitting at the end, we can take other questions and comments. But we really want this call to be focused on getting a good contract. So that's what we're going to focus our attention on in terms of questions and comments. But now I'm going to turn it over to Norma to talk about her experience in being involved in the Food for Less campaign.
Hi, everybody. My name is Norma Leyva. I work at Food for Less in Panorama City. I've been working with the company for a long time, and this contract that we're in right now has made me very aware of everything that's going on with the contract. 3 years ago, we had a contract that I had no clue what happened, and I was not happy with it. This time around, it was important to get informed, and my union rep came to me and asked me about getting organized and getting everybody together to get a better contract. So we had a delegation going, and it was important to keep everybody informed. And I got together with some key co-workers, and we got together and we were informing everybody and making them sign this delegation, which in this delegation, we were asking for respect, fair wages, and safety in the job. As you know, in November, we were in the middle of COVID, high clusters of people getting sick, and we were all fed up with not getting fair wages and not getting a good contract. So, but the key thing is to have everybody informed. Everybody needs to be informed of what's going on with the contract, getting everybody on board to know what's going on and to change for the better. There's been contracts where we don't know what happened, and everybody's like, well, we didn't vote for that. Well, it's our fault for not being involved and not getting ourselves involved and knowing what's on. This time around, I've been involved in the contract. I've been in the bargaining committee, which also is negotiating that contract. We are fighting hard, and hopefully we'll get a good outcome. In the delegation, I had 95% participation. if not more. And that's what's key, getting everybody involved. And it just can't be one person. You got to get everybody together, and everybody needs to inform everybody and know that you are the union and you are what's going to make your contract a better contract. Thank you.
Next, so we sent out a survey a couple weeks ago, and Danny Garcia, the field director, is going to talk about the how we're doing so far on the contract survey turnout.
Kathy, can you share the screen?
Yep.
Good evening, everyone. For those of you on the phone, I'm going to describe the slides. I'll go over them. So hopefully you can get a visual. Yeah, we'll start off right there, Kathy. So, you know, like Kathy just mentioned, there was a survey sent out about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. We sent it to the stewards and the leads in the stores, hoping that you guys would take this survey back to your coworkers and let them know the importance of taking the survey, right? This is their voice to let us know what's important. So when we go to negotiate, we want to negotiate what's important to you. This is your contract. So for those of you looking at the slide, you can see that for CVS, we had 54% return at least one survey per store, right? And then so for Rite, and I'm sorry, for CVS, we have 147 stores. So 80 stores returned at least one survey, and that put it at 54%. For Rite, we have 111 stores. And again, at least one survey from each store. We received 70 stores returned at least one survey that put them at 63%. Now we're going to move to the next slide, Kathy, please. Now these are the real numbers we need to look at, right? So CVS has 2,254 members currently in the bargaining unit, right? Out of that, we've received 349 surveys. That's only 13% of surveys for CVS. And for Rite, we have just over 1,500 members, and we received 201 surveys back. So that's almost 12%, just 11%, just shy of 12%. So we know that's not where we need to be, right? We definitely need to be talking to our coworkers, and that's where you come in. Those of you who are on this call who are shop stewards or leaders in your stores, this is why the surveys were sent first to you. We're asking that you take ownership of not only your store, but of this campaign. As Norma from Food for Less described, the high participation of you and your coworkers is what's going to make a difference for you to get the contract you're looking for. And we know, based on our numbers, our staff that has been helping out the reps, our development team, have gone out to certain stores and been able to work with stewards and leaders and push the survey. And those stores have had a higher return, more than one survey per store. So we know that when you speak to your coworker on a one-on-one and remind them the importance of taking this survey, they're more likely to do it. Here at the local at 770, we've done a lot of different kinds of communication through text, hustle, email. But we know the most effective way is when it comes from coworker to coworker. And so if you're on this call and you're a steward, we're asking, but most important, this is your campaign, right? You want to take ownership of this, and you want to be the one to look to your right, to your left, to your coworkers, and ask them and make sure and keep bugging them to take the survey. We're going to send the survey out now to all members. We're gonna, again, text blast, email, a hustle that we use is like a text. We're gonna send it out. We'll provide paper forms to those stewards and leads that need paper forms. Just reach out to your rep and we'll make sure we get it out to you. But we want to see that participation increase over the next 2 weeks. And we know this can be done by you, just having those conversations with your coworkers. So this is going to lead us to our first poll question of the night. Kathy, can we put up the poll question?
Yep.
And the poll question is, will you talk to your coworkers about filling out the survey? So for those of you on Zoom, you can see it and you can vote yes or no. For those of you on the phone and you want to participate and vote, you can press *9 to raise your hand, and that'll be as if you're voting that yes, you will talk to your coworkers about filling out the survey. So again, please vote. We're going to give it a couple more seconds, and then Kathy can share those numbers with us.
Yeah, so far not even half the people have voted. So just as a reminder, the question is, will you talk to your coworkers about filling out a survey? Yes or no. If you're on the phone, to vote yes, you press *9, and to vote no, just don't press anything, because you can just only raise your hand or not. And then somebody had put in the chat that they didn't get the survey. So just to let folks know, for the first 2 weeks, we gave the surveys out to your store steward or store leader, and they were supposed to distribute them to you. So if you didn't get it, it's either your store doesn't have a steward and maybe you need to step up and volunteer to be the steward in your store, or your store steward for some reason didn't give it to you, and we need to find out what that is, because having a store leader is important to make sure communications are getting around. Still not everybody has voted, but we've given folks more than a minute to vote. So I'll close the poll, and you can see the results, but I'll read them out for those on the phone. Of those who voted, actually 99% of those who voted said they will talk to a coworker about filling out a survey. It was 71 people voted yes, and 1 person voted no. Oh, can people see that? Oh, maybe they can't see it. Oh, now can they see it?
There you go.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so 99%, 71 people voted that they would, plus all the people who raised their hand on the call, which is a lot. I can't even count up the number that raised their hands, because it's more than fit on my screen. But it looks like pretty much everyone, almost everyone on the call is willing to talk to their coworker about filling out the survey. And we're going to send the survey out to everyone now. So initially we didn't send it to everyone because we were trying to see which stores had leaders who would share it. So we didn't send it to everyone. We sent it to the store leaders, and they were supposed to share it with their coworkers. Some stores, I will say, that had a good leader, the leader did share it with all their coworkers. We have some stores that are like 90% of the people filled it out. But now we are going to send it out to everybody. So next, we're going to talk about how we get to high member participation. So Dina Weston and Armando Galvez are going to lead a discussion about how we get to a high member participation campaign.
Thank you, Kathy. So hi, everybody. I'm Dina Weston. I'm the union representative for the Glendale, Echo Park, Eagle Rock, Highland Park, and South Pasadena areas. Tonight, I've been asked to start the conversation about how to get high member participation in our upcoming drug contract campaigns. Norma from Food for Less gave some great examples of how the Food for Less team have been moving forward in their campaign. And some of you are already familiar with actions that need your participation during a contract campaign, but let's list those for a few of us that may not be aware. During a contract campaign, everybody can complete a bargaining survey. This survey is the way that the bargaining team, you can make them aware of what's important to you. We can also sign petitions for delegations to management, just like Norma had brought up, hand out flyers in front of our stores to our customers, get customers to sign petitions or pledge their support. We can also sign up to be media spokesperson, share information about our campaign on social media. You can wear a button. A button is the simplest thing inside your store to show management that you have solidarity with your coworkers. It also brings awareness to the customers of what's going on. You can attend meetings like this and invite your coworkers to join you. We can vote potentially to go on strike. Send messages directly to CEOs of the companies about your commitment to a fair contract. I've heard that the Food for Less team sent a really large Valentine's Day card to the CEO of their company. So that's something different. You can participate in a bargaining committee. Norma's on her bargaining committee. Also, one of the easiest things for you to do is to stay informed. Please download the 770 Onsite app so that you can keep up to date with your campaign and what's coming up next in your campaign, along with, you know, seeing everything else that Local 770 is working on. The most important thing is to stay informed. Now that we have a list of some of the actions in mind, Armando is going to go ahead and take over and ask you some questions.
Thank you, Dina. Those were some really good examples. Good evening, everybody. My name is Armando Galvez, field staff for Midtown, Mid-City, Los Angeles. And I hope everyone is doing well. We're definitely going through some challenging times right now, especially the last year. So with that said, we have some questions for some of the members who have participated in these campaigns before. The first one being is, what has worked well in past contract campaigns for you all? So what's worked well in past campaigns? If you can just raise your hand. If you're on the phone, you can hit *6, I believe, to raise your hand, or if you want to drop in the Q&A or the chat. But
*9 to raise your hand.
Okay, so we have.
Okay, we got one person raising their hand, so I'm gonna. This is a call-in person, which your name's not there, but. The first person that raised their hand, if you, oh, you're on mute. Let me see if I can unmute you. I think you have to you unmute by pressing *6. So I can't, oh, there you go. You did it.
Yeah, hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, this is Felice Sanders. I think I did it right. Felice Sanders Keys.
Hi, Felice.
I just forgot the question. I'm sorry. I was doing something and I did that. You said to say that. Sorry, you guys have to repeat what you just said.
Armando, can you repeat the question, Armando?
Yes,
yeah,
Felice.
and I was typing my question in here.
Yeah, so for members who have participated in these campaigns before, what has worked well in past contract campaigns?
And you know what? I am so sorry. I did do that wrong, because my question was, I have not participated. How do you, as a floater, participate? I mean, I can verbally,
That's an awesome question. That's an awesome question. Yeah, so we're going to go through that right now. Different districts. Sorry to cut you off. So how do you participate outside of bringing up the survey issue? Yeah, it's a great question. Yeah, we're going to go through that right now. Okay, Felice?
Okay. Sorry.
Appreciate that. Yeah, what store are you from?
Oops, sorry. I was removing her so we could go to the next one. So
yeah, let's go to the next one.
She's from Rite. She's one of our pharmacists.
Nice.
Okay, let's go to we'll go to the next one. I think this one, Juana Hernandez.
Juana Hernandez, you're on.
She has to unmute by pressing *6, I think. Oh no, she's on Zoom. You just need to unmute yourself. You're on the regular Zoom. Juana Hernandez from Rite 5425. You need to unmute yourself on your Zoom. There's like a little microphone. Looks like a picture of a microphone. There you go.
I got it. Hi, good
Hi,
night,
Juana.
everybody. We participated last time we did the strike in front of the store. That's what we working last time, the last contract. That's what we
Okay.
do the last time.
You
And
did-
we talk with the co-workers too.
So you were talking to coworkers, right, in your store?
Yes.
Okay. How was that? How did that go for you?
Some of them they participate, but not everybody.
Okay. So some you got some feedback and some you didn't, right? And
Yes.
that'll happen sometimes, right?
Yes.
Got it. Okay. Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, for now, yes.
Okay. I appreciate it.
And then we have a couple people who commented in the chat, just to say, Diane Molden said we had good results with customer petitions last time. And I think that's what Juana was talking about too, when she was saying strike in front of the store. It actually wasn't a strike, it was a boycott, and we were asking customers to sign petitions.
Right. And then Mary, right? Mary Vidales, wearing the button to show support. That's always great. That shows some great solidarity right there. That's awesome, Mary.
And then we got another person.
Do you see Christine, Kathy?
Yep, Christine Wetzel. And
Yeah, the letters that we got from corporate that were shared by the store management and also posted in our break room were really great to kind of keep things on an even keel with what information we were getting from Union 770 and how things were going along. Because this was, the last one was pretty heated. There was a lot of things that were really going on. And I think it helped everyone to be able to communicate verbally and non-verbally to what was happening with all of us.
Yeah, that's awesome. Did you say from corporate? I think that was from the union, correct?
No, we were getting updates from the Rite Aid corporate.
Oh, okay.
And sometimes what we got from the Union 770, some of the letters were conflicting in decisions that were going to be made or what we were going to get in the way of benefits, or the detailed part of it's kind of complicated. But that was a way to keep on a day-to-day basis, to keep some kind of balance in what was going on during all that conflict.
so, yeah, so I think frequently, and I think this is happening currently in Food for Less bargaining, is the company will send a lot of updates and information because they actually, their interest obviously is not providing, not spending as much money. Their interest is in making as much profit as possible. So many times they do send information out to try to scare people from standing together to try to get a better contract. And I know in the Rite Aid negotiations last time, the company was trying to take away the trust fund healthcare benefits. And much of the information that they put out was, about the fact that they were, wanting to put everybody in the Rite Aid company benefit plan as opposed to the current benefit plan that folks have. So that was, I think, a lot of the communication that came from the company. But
And to your point, Kathy, Diane Molden just dropped a comment too. Very important to speak with all coworkers, as manager will use scare tactics and false info. So that's very common during these contract fights and negotiations. So if you're ever having a question, speak to your steward or your leader in your store to get the most updated facts, and of course, your representative or your field staff member, because they can clarify any kind of information or something you're not clear on for you.
I think that's the last comment.
Okay. So
there's
sorry.
one more question there. How do we get a button?
So when it comes to the button, everybody, we're trying to get ideas right now. We're talking about, how we can, some examples of what we can do, and those are some great examples. So when it comes to the button, once we get to that step, it's something that we'll coordinate with everybody in the stores. If we end up, deciding to go ahead and go forward with wearing the buttons, and we'll definitely start doing that. We'll be in contact with everybody.
Did you have a comment, Norma?
Yes, I just wanted to let them know, to second what Armando said, that the company is looking out for their best interests. So it's important that we read the information that they're giving right, because they'll be, they won't be truthful in their comments or say the whole truth. It'll be partial truth. And because it's not in their best interest for us to get a better contract. It's in their best interest for us to get the least possible. So don't let them deceive you with their tactics and their scare tactics too. We are going through negotiations, and there has been a lot of scare tactics that the company has pulled on us.
Yeah, and also, one of the reasons it's important to have members at the bargaining table, and I think Norma could speak to this as well, is, the union can say this and put out information, and the company can put out information, and the members, I think, as Christine was referring to, it's like they're getting some information over here and some information over here, but really, when the members themselves are doing the bargaining and the members themselves are at the bargaining table, the members are the union. And so, when Norma speaks to her coworkers about what's happening at the bargaining table, she's actually there. It isn't like there's this union somewhere else that's doing it for the workers. The workers themselves are doing the bargaining. The workers themselves are bringing the message back. So that's why the member participation is so important. So you don't have to be confused about, the company saying this and the union. It's not about the company versus the union. It's what the workers want. So, that's why it's important to be involved.
Very important.
That's awesome. So another question for everybody is, what kinds of actions do you think would be helpful then? We heard a couple of examples. So what do you think you all can do to get the company's attention? So if you want to raise your hand, drop it in the chat, drop it in the Q&A.
We have one hand raised, and it's Maria Villamil, I think. And
Maria, can you hear us?
she needs to unmute.
There we go.
Oh, there she goes. Now she's unmuted.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
Can
Hey,
you hear
Maria.
me? Hey,
Yes.
so actually my question, but it will lead to the bargaining agreement. Anyways, my question is about the heroes' pay. I don't know if you'd like to entertain me now or later about the heroes' pay, because Calabasas, Agura Hills, that area has not gotten any heroes' pay yet. And I know it's regarding, or it's all about the city council that will be deciding over it. However, though, what is their interest? Why they're postponing it? Or have they already done the proposals in this case? Or what is the status? Because I'm going to write the city council where I'm at. Though I don't live there, but I work there. We don't have the heroes pay, and I'm hearing a lot of things about other places that's gotten the heroes pay. And we're there every day facing the pandemic and stuff like that.
What city are you from?
There's two. I work in Calabasas and in Agoura Hills. Basically, those two areas, they've never gotten their heroes pay at all. And I know, as far as the last conversation with Jill, it's about the city council, that we need to reach out to them. And I guess I'm going to gather I'll talk to my, coworkers about it. If we can write them letters or call them or email them about what is the delay? Why is that? Who's paying us for the heroes pay? Isn't it coming from the company, or is there a budget coming from the city council? That's why they couldn't decide about it. I mean, what is their benefit, and what is the basis of their delaying it?
So let me tell you this. So Maria, the Calabasas City Council meeting is actually happening tonight, and the vote is at,
okay, yeah, that's right.
so the vote is at 8:15 tonight. And UFCW Local 770 members submitted 176 postcards in support of the hero pay, and it's actually on the agenda for tonight, and it will be voted on at 8:15 tonight. So
perfect. What about the Agoura Hills?
That one I don't know.
That's still Los Angeles County.
So Maria, just so we can get back to the contract question, we're going to go to the next commenter. But if we have time, Rachel Torres, who's the Deputy Political Director, if we have time at the end of the call, maybe we'll have her speak a little bit about where we are on hazard pay in some of the cities that you're talking about.
Perfect. That's good. I'll mute myself now, or you can mute me.
Okay, I'll mute you. And then we have Margaret Holguin, who we'll bring on. Hi, Margaret.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Hi, I'm sorry. I totally forgot about the cost. I'm at the gym right now. But anyway, the one thing I think, as far as CVS, the one thing that I know will make a big impact is wearing the buttons, because CVS has never really been challenged hard enough, I believe, to negotiate as far as for the workers, like to get the Plan B stores, to get them the insurance and the pension. So I think for us, wearing the buttons will make a big impact.
That's awesome. And I like what you said. They haven't been challenged.
That's
so big right there.
And CVS, they care about their reputation. They want to look good with the public. They want to be known as a company that helps workers, it helps the community. And I know if we start doing stuff like that, it'll really scare them.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's what I believe. So it's my input.
Great.
Thank you.
Next, just a couple of on the chat. Diane said buttons or masks, maybe. Yeah, so we're hearing buttons again. And Alyssa said collect signatures from customers. Okay, so maybe some pressure from the community, right, to put on the company. Alejandra, get the customers involved. The company wants to be on good terms with their customers. Customers are the golden goose, so to speak. Let the customers know what we are trying to do and what they can do to help our support. Definitely, you have the community support helping you out, and many of you create relationships, and people sometimes just go in there just to visit some of you all. So getting their support, that would definitely show something strong to the company, of course. And Elisa, sorry, it's different.
Luna. Yeah, Annalisa Luna suggested sending postcards to corporate.
And support from other unions, okay. Jacqueline, interested in wearing a button. More support from customers. So that's something we can definitely look into and explore. Okay.
Well, one thing I will say about wearing buttons is buttons are a really great way to show support, but it's also a way for the company to gauge how many people are interested in the campaign. So if we do a button campaign and only, you have 10 people in your store and only 3 of them wear buttons, that indicates that not everybody is supporting getting a good contract, and it indicates some weakness. So it is important that we're organized and have everybody on board, you know, and have 100% wearing buttons at the point that we, you know, do a button. If we do a button campaign, it's important that everybody wear them.
That's great. So great ideas, everybody. So now we're going to ask a second poll question. And that'll be, will you talk with at least 2 coworkers and get them to join our next call, which will be happening in about 3 weeks? So we have a call happening in 3 weeks. We want to know who will talk to at least 2 coworkers and get them to join in 3 weeks.
And so we have 157. Oh, and thanks. Those are pressing *9 if you're on the telephone to indicate that you'll talk to 2 folks. So we have 157 attendees on the call. And so if every one of that 150, let's say 150 folks brought 2 more people, we'd have 450 on the next call.
And Kathy, will that next call go over what the survey's, you know, responses were, what the members actually brought up as important?
Yes, Dina, good question. So the call is going to be in 3 weeks because the link is going to go out to everyone for the survey this week, and folks have 2 weeks to get it in. And then we will compile all the information from those surveys, and we'll, on the call in 3 weeks, we'll go over the results of the surveys as to what are the most important issues for the members.
And Kathy, to your point, sorry, someone did drop in the chat. We always ask for the same rights. Really, what makes this contract any different? And that's why we have the survey out there. We want to know what you guys are thinking. What's most important to you all? But that's what we need to hear from all you all.
What's going to make this contract different is member participation. That's the only thing that's ever going to make it different. So
you will make the difference. You will make the difference.
So I'm going to end the poll. We have 99% again, and looks like everyone on the phone as well. So I'll share the results. So 67 people said they would bring 2 coworkers. So that's what 67 times it's 120. That's like another 130 people. There are between Rite Aid and CVS, we have 4,500 drug members. So that'll be good growth, and we're going to have to continue to grow participation as well. Okay, so I do have a couple of announcements I want to make, and then I'm going to turn it over to President John Grant to do a little wrap up. So in terms of vaccine rollout, and I know a lot of you are at stores where they've started doing vaccination, and there have been a lot of problems that we've heard about from Rite Aid pharmacists and pharmacy techs about the rollout in their stores, that there's not enough staffing, that people are very overwhelmed and overworked at many of the Rite Aid stores that are doing vaccination. So on the 25th of April, which is a Sunday, there's going to be a call at 6 p.m., again via Zoom, with actually some Rite Aid labor relations folks who want to hear firsthand about the problems that are happening in the Rite Aid stores to ensure that they understand what the problems are so that hopefully they can address them. And they'll be wanting to hear about the understaffing, alternative work schedules, and whatever else is being experienced by folks in the Rite Aid stores that are doing vaccination. So we will be sending out a link to all the pharmacy department employees at Rite Aid to participate in that call. And again, a reminder to download the 770 on-site app. And I think there's a flyer here to kind of show folks how to do that. Let me see if I can get that up. There it is. So for those of you on the phone, you go to the App Store, you search for 770 on-site in either the App Store or Google Play, and you install the app. Once you install the app, you accept push notifications, and then you'll be able to get all kinds of notifications, and you can use your cell phone number as your access code. And you can use 770 as the code to sign in if your own phone number doesn't work. So that's the information on that. And I think this is posted in your store in case, you know, you can look at your union bulletin board and find this information as well. So I think I'll, so we do have a little bit of time if folks have questions before I turn it over to John to wrap up, unless we want Rachel to give a bit of a report on hazard pay. And I do just want to remind folks, and this, somebody put this in the chat as well, that, you know, hazard pay is a short-term thing. So while it's really important that we've, the members have called out to the city councils, and the city councils have responded by passing hazard pay ordinances, they are very temporary. Your contract lasts more permanently. So getting involved in the contract campaign is as important, if not more important, than the hazard pay ordinances. But I'm just going to ask John. John, do you want to go straight to the wrap up, or do you want to have Rachel give a little report?
Why don't we have Rachel do a quick update for those, because I know that's a burning question for a lot of folks.
Okay. So if Rachel, here, let me search for Rachel.
She's still on, unless she went to Calabasas.
No, she's here. I'm going to put her on the panel, promote her to the panel. Hi, Rachel. I hope she's there. I promoted her to the panel. There she is.
Hi. Hello, everyone.
We're putting you on the spot. Rachel had no idea she was going to speak tonight, but here she is.
That's all right. That's all right. Hi, everyone. Good to see all of you. Those I can't see. Hello. So folks were asking about where we are in HERO/hazard pay. And I think one of the members accurately said it really well, which is city councils are the ones that decide on this, right? So we've been pushing over 30 cities throughout California and the state of Washington to implement this policy. And it really is a matter of local control. And there are positives about that, and there are negatives about that. The positives are that we get to go, you know, right up and close with people that we either helped elect or people that have never been on the side of workers, and really call the question for them. So there's multiple cities that are moving right now. Just this week, Culver City, Burbank, and tonight Calabasas are taking action. And the best way, the most, the best information I can give you is exactly what I believe Jill, the rep, and others have said, which is in order to get the council to move these things, members, workers have to be very vocal. This is not a behind the scenes decision where, you know, someone from 770 makes a phone call and there goes, we have a policy. Every single time we've moved this policy in any one of our cities, it's because workers, community have all made phone calls. They've spoken in public comment at city council meetings. They've made their voice heard. And that's what's pushed this movement forward. So if you are in a city, I think someone mentioned Agoura Hills, there's multiple other cities that could still pass this policy. If you work in a city that has not passed this policy, I encourage you to go online. It's very simple. You can literally find the email address of the city council member and send them an email, or you can connect with your rep and pass out postcards. They are little support cards that folks can fill out and connect with your rep, and then we will email those in for you. In cities where we've passed strong policies, over 300 workers in those cities signed postcards, and the city council responded to them directly. We're really moved by them. So if you want to do that, this is in your hands. You know, rarely do we have these kind of opportunities in which money is on the table that we ourselves can push for in such a direct way. So I encourage all of you, if you haven't done so, talk to your rep, ask for those postcards, sign them, ask your coworkers to sign them, get them to turn them in, and then we will work side by side with you to get a policy passed. Nothing's guaranteed, you know, we make no promises, but there is a movement that is happening and city council members feel the pressure on them. So with that, I'll turn it over to John. Thank you.
Thanks, Rachel. You know, this is sort of confusing. These companies are making buckets of money, and they're sitting protected in their corporate suites as they rake in huge profits. And because they won't share that money with you, you've had to go to different city councils to make them do the right thing. And therefore, we're sort of your lives are subject to whether or not this city council or that city council is going to do the right thing, even though the right thing really rests with Rite Aid and CVS. And what's even more shameful is that apparently some of you are entitled to better health care than others. If you're in an A store, you have a better package of health care. And you're able to retire with a little bit more dignity and respect. And that's shameful on CVS's part for trying to segregate folks according to what store they're in. So Elsa Torres asked the question earlier that Armando raised was, we always ask for the same thing. Better benefits, increase protection, more money. That's right. And that's the same thing, this thing. So what's going to make the difference? The difference is how are we going to win? And thinking about this, where can we look to figure out how we're going to win? And this month is the last 6 weeks. Give us an opportunity, I think, to look at that. Over the last year, we have suffered through the worst pandemic, you know, that this country has in any of our collective memory experienced. You've all experienced family members, friends, co-workers who've been infected, others who've died, and customers who've gone outrageously upset and attacked. You all. And we learned, though, over the last year, a bunch of stuff about ourselves, who we are, and what steps we can take to protect ourselves. We learned about our coworkers, how they've stood with us, by and large, to protect each other. We learned about our community that, by and large, have respected the work that you've done. They've realized the essential role you play in every community. And we've also realized what our company has not done, how they've ignored the tragic effects of this pandemic. And yet we were forced, all of you, all of us, were forced to learn how to protect ourselves. We learned about masks. We learned about sharing masks, not the same one, but you know that in fact, finding masks for each other. We've learned about social distancing. And we did this because we wanted to protect our families. We had to protect ourselves. We had to protect our community, and we took that step to do that. Now, if 10% of your co-workers in your store were wearing a mask, would your sense be that we have enough protection to protect ourselves from work that day or the community from getting COVID? Because we have 10% of the members have taken the survey. Now, is the survey going to get us a contract? No, it's not. But what does the survey represent? The survey represents each of us looking at what the dangers are at work, what needs to be improved at work, and taking steps to protect ourselves. In the COVID, we took a defensive protection about social distancing and masks. Now is the time to take an offensive protection. We have to, in fact, go out. We have to, in fact, raise the social distancing, raise the masks of a contract. And we do that by talking to each other. So if we have to go back, we have to get a hold of that survey. If we haven't gotten it, if you haven't gotten it, then you either get it on the app, you call up your rep, you strangle your steward and wring it out of their, their purse or their back pocket, and we fill it and we take it not just for ourselves, but everybody else in the store. Because our protection is high participation in a contract campaign that masses and numbers of people are involved and give Rite Aid and CVS no choice, but to give us the contract we deserve. Just as we gave that infection, that COVID, no choice to be able to infect us when we were following protocols, social distancing and masks, we took that protection. We have to take that offensive protection and go out to the stores, to your co-workers, and take it. And this is what Norma and Kathy and Armando talked about was group action. But to get to a group stage, individually, we have to one by one, talk to every member in our store. And then again, and then talk to them again. And then just not talk to them, take them with you when we go to the manager. Take them with you when we go outside and have our customers sign the petitions. Make sure that they're wearing a button. Make sure that they sign the petition. This is what our job is. If you are serious about protecting your family and yourselves, and about improving, about getting that ACE store benefits, about making sure that your manager doesn't denigrate and disrespect you, that you have some income being able to reflect the vital essential work you do, then you have to take protection to get it. And that protection is involvement and participation in this campaign. The choice is up to each of you. I can't go store by store. Kathy can't go by store by store. Dean is not going to go store by store throughout all of Southern California because it's not going to be as effective as you. You're the ones that have to carry this. You have to put on that mask of a contract campaign, maintain that social distancing between us and the company, but bring everybody with us, and then we can get a contract. And that's what this is about, is using the protection of a collective bargaining agreement, of a contract, to get what we need and what we want. And we do that by greater and greater and greater participation and linking up with everybody in our stores. That's, I think, the lesson that we have to take from the horror of COVID to the contract campaign going forward in June and July. And I know we can do it. We started doing it 3 years ago. We began that with Rite Aid. We beat them back on some of their measures that they wanted to reduce their wages and benefits. We can do that again this time. I'm confident we can, and you know you can. And so I show 156 people, participants. Let's hit 500. 500 in 3 weeks. Can we do that? Everybody raise your hand if you think we can. See, and I can't see anybody, so I assume everybody's raising their hand, right? So we're gonna do 500 in 3 weeks, 500 in May. You can celebrate my birthday in May by having 500, okay? That's the best gift I could ever get. All right, thank you, Kathy. I'll turn it back to you. This was a good meeting, a good start, continuation, and this is the setup for us to, in fact, get that contract that we need and deserve. Kathy?
Okay, I mean, I think that wraps it up. I think that we had one more person that wanted to make a comment, which is Latania Let me see if I can find her. Latania Forest had her hand up to make a comment. Let me see.
She's online. She's on. She just needs to-
Hello?
Hi, Latanya.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, my point is that we all have to be 100% united. I don't have 100% participation at my location. Some of my coworkers think that the company loves them, the district manager loves them, and the managers love them. But my whole goal is to get everyone united. If we don't get everyone united, we will not be victorious in this. I want more money. I would like to go to a work area where I am safe. Rite Aid have put so many more responsibilities on us, but they're not paying us. I have been cussed out, I have been threatened, and I'm tired. But my goal is to get 100% of my co-workers on board. If we do not stand united, we will fall. And I love you, John. Thank you so much, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Great ending, Latanya. So that was the last comment that we have. Some of the other questions we answered in the chat. And it's great that we had 150, over 150 people, but we still need more. I'm excited that we did have a good turnout tonight, because that's what we need to move forward. And we'll see you all in 3 weeks. Do your survey, get on the 770 app. If you're a Rite Aid pharmacy department person, come on the call on Sunday, 4/25 at 6 p.m. And otherwise, we'll see you in 3 weeks with your two coworkers, you and your two coworkers that you're going to bring to this meeting, so that we can have more than 500 people at John's birthday party in 3 weeks.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone, and hopefully we get hazard pay in Calabasas at 8:15. Woo.
Yes.
Okay. Good night, everybody.
All right.